What's up, guys? This is Brad from over at GoMotional.com, and today we've got another video for you guys about another class. This is one that I personally use quite a bit because it's one of my favorites. It's a really stealth-like class. It's good for the games like Hardpoint, and I mean, it's even good in stuff like Hardcore and Team Deathmatch and stuff. It's really meant for the player who wants to kind of go out on his own, get a bunch of kills, but at the same time, it's kind of got, like I said, it's a stealth class, so you want to be able to kind of come around the back ends of enemies to flank them and get them from behind and stuff without them even realizing you're there. That's exactly what this class is made for. So let's get straight into it. For the primary weapon, I use the Vector. It's a really great weapon. It's got a lot of good accuracy. It's got a good amount of damage that it deals and stuff. It's a really well-rounded SMG. For the attachments, I usually go with the Suppressor and also the Target Finder. I know a lot of people don't like the Target Finder, but it does increase the range and accuracy of the weapon a hell of a lot. You'll have a lot more chances to get headshots if you need to go after headshots for the weapon. It's just an overall, it's a good sight. You know, I mean, a lot of people disagree, don't like it, whatever, but I mean, for this particular class, it's perfect. It makes it to where if you can come around the back end of enemies, you can really spot them really quickly and take them out before they even notice you're there. And that's also what the suppressor's for. We want to stay off the radar, so we put the silencer on there so we don't have to worry about your gunfire triggering your red dot coming up on the enemy radar at all. Okay, so we're not going to use a secondary weapon. And before we get into perks, I'm going to go ahead and put a wild card on, and that's going to be the perk 1 Greed. And the reason for that is because I choose both lightweight and ghost for this class. So that way you stay hidden while you're in movement, but at the same time you got a little bit additional speed so you can get around a little bit quicker, which makes it a lot easier to flank enemies when you're trying to come around the backside, just rack up your kills. For the perk 2, I usually go cold-blooded. Main reason for that, when I try to run stealth classes, I don't like being able to be seen by target finders because they really do have kind of a bad pickup. And the reason I say that is because sometimes when you're using the target finder, if you're staying scoped in, once in a while you'll start to see a red diamond coming before they're even around a corner or through a wall. So it's kind of annoying because sometimes enemies will be able to spot you before you're even in a visible range. So that's why I use cold-blooded. I think it's good for a few other things. Yeah, the dual band, so you're not going to get seen on the night vision radar kind of stuff for scopes. Sensor grenades, I don't really see many people use those, but hey, you're protected against it. And player-controlled aircraft, which is good if someone manages to get, you know, just a high-end score streak where they're up in the helicopter shooting at you. Perk 3, I always go for Dead Silence. So, you know, this is a really, like I said, perfect stealth class. It's really, really quiet, really fast, really efficient. We're not going to get lethal at all. Instead, we're going to take 2 tacticals, and they're both going to be a Black Hat. The reason why I go for that is because a lot of times if you're not playing with a great team or something, the enemy team will eventually get something like a stealth chopper or even worse, a warthog or something like that. And Black Hats are great for taking things out like that. Or, you know, they can take out something simple like a sentry gun or an AGR. And the other reason for it is because I like to rack up score while I'm running this class. And Black Hats are really good for that. If you can take out like a counter UAV or a UAV, you usually get like 75 to 100 points just for doing that. And, you know, just for staying out in the back ends of the map and pointing the little PDA up in the air and taking out an aircraft, you get a lot of points for that, and you can rack up really quickly, especially when you use 2. You can get a good, like, you know, 150, 200 points just from doing that, and that makes it to where you can get your score streaks a lot faster, which is something I like to do with this kind of class. So yeah, that's pretty much the tail end of the class. I mean, it's basically just the Vector with a suppressor and target finder. You're running lightweight and ghost and cold-blooded and dead silence. It is really meant to be like the absolute stealth class, and it works really well. I've used this in pretty much any game type, and it works insanely well, especially in close to medium range combat. I mean, the Vector really doesn't lose a whole lot of power when you put the suppressor on it, especially when you use the target finder. Like I said, when you use the target finder, you increase your range, you increase your accuracy, so those little notches that the suppressor takes off for those values, it kind of gets nulled out by using the target finder because the target finder just increases it. So yeah, this class works really well. I usually mainly run it in Hardpoint, Team Deathmatch, sometimes in FFA. But it's overall a great class. For the score streaks, I usually use UAV, counter UAV, and then stealth chopper. You can choose something else if you like, but that's just my personal setup. So yeah, that's it for this class, you guys. The Vector K10, it's a great gun. I recommend it, especially for this stealth class. It's wonderful. All right, cheers, guys.